Beep. Boop. What's going on, everybody? It is 1:30 p.m. here in Florida. And I will be hanging out with you guys for about 30 minutes. It's going to be a pretty short little live stream this afternoon. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, it's weird. If you watch my video, which I uploaded, like 15 minutes ago or so you probably haven't. It's interesting. I really enjoyed it as a piece of Star Wars entertainment. It's so damn weird to me, though, that this is an episode of the Book of Boba Fett. I wish shows could stand on their own 2 feet nowadays without leaning on and relying on things of the past. Or, I don't know. It's weird, man. What'd you guys think? I feel like I've been thinking about this since 5 in the morning, and I've exhausted my brain. like I said in my video, man, like this didn't even need to be its own show. This could have been season 3 of The Mandalorian. You could have just had more Mandalorian in there and like just subtly told the Boba Fett story, and I think maybe it would have been a little better. I don't know. It's so strange to me that the past 2 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett really have not had any Fett in them. You know? Am I the only one that thinks that's weird? That it just kind of feels like the Book of Boba Fett does not know what it wants to be. Obviously, there's going to be spoilers. So, yeah, Cad Bane, that was a surprise. I know some people predicted it. It's kind of funny if somebody predicts that a character is going to be in a Star Wars show, a modern Star Wars show. Hey, I guess more than likely they are, right? Whenever I go, there's no way they're going to bring that character into live action. No way they're going to throw in yet another familiar face. It turns out they do. But anyway, Vince says when I saw the gunslinger, I said he got him a little hat in my Cad Bane impression. I thought Cad Bane looked fantastic. What do you guys think? I thought he's a good addition to the show and into the Boba Fett universe. He's a good adversary. He's a good yin to the yang of Boba Fett on the Pike side. So it'll be interesting. What's up, Detail? Honestly, I've just started thinking about it at like the Clone Wars and Anthology more so than specific shows. The shows are great, so it's not worth it to me to fret over it like some people do. Yeah, that's probably a very healthy way to look at it, for sure. Maybe title it something different, but yeah, it's interesting to me to like think in the distant future, let's say 10 years from now, when somebody is going to sit down and watch The Mandalorian. You know, they're going to watch the first season, they're going to watch the second season, and then somebody's going to have to tell them, hold on, before you go to the third season of The Mandalorian, you need to hop over and watch the first season of the Book of Boba Fett, because there's a lot of interesting and integral and important information and very consequential events that happen in the Book of Boba Fett that will affect the events of season 3 of The Mandalorian, so make sure you watch season 1 of the Book of Boba Fett before you go to season 3 of The Mandalorian. That's weird. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. How old is Cad Bane? Maybe that species ages nicely. But yeah, it's really interesting that so much there's such a wide variety of things that happen in this episode, you know. From Luke and Ahsoka and Grogu and Mando meeting all of them once again, to Cobb Vanth and Cad Bane, and then Boba Fett and the Pikes, and just a hell of a lot of stuff happened in this, right? Yeah. What's up, Sappy? Boba Fett and Cad Bane are sure to have a showdown to finish that unreleased duel from the Clone Wars. Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah. I wonder if that's going to happen in the one episode that's left in the season. Could be. And I'm really curious, like, if somebody isn't familiar with the Clone Wars or the character of Cad Bane and they're watching the Book of Boba Fett, and they see Cad Bane, what's their thoughts, you know? I think this is what they're planning since they have so many shows: Mando, Boba, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan. So they are making a Marvel-like show universe, Daredevil, Luke Cage. Oh yeah, of course. That there's no question in my mind. That's the direction everything that has been announced so far is going. I know that appeals to a lot of people. I think I'm more of the type to like individual shows and movies that aren't like deeply connected with one another. I kind of like the idea of shows like standing on their own 2 feet, and not crisscrossing paths so much to the point that if you miss watching one show, then you're kind of be out of the loop when it comes to the events of the show that you were watching. Does that make sense? I don't know. We'll see. This is kind of the first little experiment when it comes to Star Wars and live action TV, right? And all the crisscrossing. But Detail says Luke looked vastly better in this. Their deepfake game has improved significantly. Yeah, absolutely. Especially when like we first see him and he's kind of in the meditative state and he's sitting across from Grogu. I really thought they nailed it. It was like indistinguishable from reality. Obviously, when he starts speaking or certain motions, the technology isn't 100%, as you know, you wouldn't expect it to be at this stage in the game. So it's something that I don't even care to really nitpick, just because, yeah, I mean, it's the early stages of this technology, and what are you going to do? Of course, it's not going to look perfect, right? So the thing that really did kind of throw me off, and let me know if you guys noticed this too, was the voice. I mean, it sounded like Luke, but it almost now correct me if I'm wrong, is this synthesized? Is this like a digitized voice? Is this a completely fake voice? I think that's what they said for season 2 of The Mandalorian when Luke showed up. Is that true? Either way, the voice sounded very robotic. It sounded very like bookish and monotone, and there wasn't much inflection. There wasn't much tonal difference between the speech, and it just kind of yeah, it sounded very, yeah, I don't know how to describe it. No matter what was happening on screen, he sounded like this, and no matter what, the voice never really changed, and the inflection and the tone of the voice was just similar through and through, and there could have been a giant explosion on screen, but Luke Skywalker is just talking like this, completely monotone. Moltisanti, like Christopher Moltisanti. Oh, that is your avatar, isn't it? Says last episode was better in my opinion, but this one was still good. It's more like The Mandalorian season 2.5 than the Book of Boba Fett, which is fine. I don't find Boba Fett all that interesting. Yeah, I mean, I've said it before, but this episode and the previous episode really make me appreciate the Book of the Mandalorian, rather. Make me realize how much infinitely better of a show that is. To me, at least, but yeah. Something Grunberg. Vince says, so I've been joking since the first episode that Boss will show up, but now I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if he shows up in the finale. Dude, I mean, I don't even know what to think. Like, what characters showed up in this episode? Luke, Grogu. I mean, every damn character. Luke, Grogu, Mandalorian, Ahsoka, R2-D2, Cobb Vanth, Cad Bane. Who am I forgetting? Boba Fett. I mean, so many characters showed up for the second to last episode of the season. That's interesting. The Blank Project, thank you so much for the super chat, first super chat and channel support of the stream. The Blank Project says, what choice do you think Grogu will choose, lightsaber or armor? I like this exploration with conflicting morals and beliefs. Absolutely. I like it too. I really like how the episode ended with this choice, this option between lightsaber and chainmail. I'll tell you what I want him to choose. I want him to choose the Beskar. I want him to choose the chainmail. I think everybody is maybe expecting him to choose the lightsaber because Jedi! I love Jedi! But, I mean, his appreciation and love for his father figure and the Mandalorian and missing, missing his father, basically, and being a foundling and having this Beskar chainmail forged for him. I think there is so much of a deeper connection, a personal connection between him and Mando, in my opinion. Attachment. Oh, cool. Aren't the Jedi swell? Hey, stop being attached to things. Become a goddamn robot. I don't think Grogu's gonna do that. I don't want him to. I want him to choose the chainmail. I want him to choose the Beskar. I want him to go with his heart, But that's just me. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. The Blank Project. I don't really see. Yeah. What's the incentive for him to go the Jedi route? I mean, I don't know. I hope he goes. I hope he gets the Beskar. But that's me, Blank Project. What do you guys think? And it's not necessarily what the fuck is Grogu supposed to do as a Mandalorian? Armor won't fit him. Yeah, it's not about becoming a Mandalorian or anything like that. It's more that connection, right? He doesn't have to put on like mini Boba Fett armor. That would be the lamest shit ever. It's just whatever. He can just things are changing. Creeds are changing. The world around these characters is changing. I don't like the rigidity and dogma of the Mandalorian sect, and I don't like the rigidity and dogma of the Jedi either. I mean, it's kind of interesting putting these two paths in front of this child and having them choose. And it in itself is gross, right? Just simply like putting chainmail and then a lightsaber in front of this kid and being, hey, choose which one you want to be, you child. Isn't that in itself gross? I don't know. I think, hopefully at least, a lot of this show and a lot of The Mandalorian is going to be pushing against dogma and not exactly fitting the mold, Yeah, anyway. Yeah, you're probably right. Josh says Luke still has many attachments, so it would be hypocritical to make Grogu choose. So that's why I think this is a test for Grogu. Yeah, you're probably right. a false choice that Luke's setting up. Yeah, potentially. I like that. I like that. Vince says, I'm hoping it is a test, but this episode still reinforced my dislike of the Jedi and their bullshit. Yeah, it's funny. That was the warnings of the prequels as well, right? The rigidity, the dogmatic belief of the Jedi, their hubris. Yeah. Where did it go? Chunk, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. I greatly appreciate that, Mr. Chunk. I don't want to call this episode a disaster, but it had so much stuff crammed into it that it felt irrelevant to Boba's story. First stream, by the way. Well, welcome to the stream, man. Welcome to your first HelloGreedo live stream. It is 1:50 p.m. here in Florida. I've been going 20 minutes, and typically I feel like I either do these early in the morning or in the evening. Nowadays, it's rare that I do like a 1:30 p.m. stream. So welcome. I don't know when I'll see you again, because I barely schedule anything, Chunk, and I just hop on whenever I feel like it. So that's probably why this is your first stream, because these things are always all over the place. Chunk says, I'll read it again. I don't want to call this episode a disaster, but it had so much stuff crammed into it that it felt irrelevant to Boba's story. I think, I don't necessarily, I wouldn't say it's irrelevant to his story. Obviously, Mando is attempting to, he's the hired muscle. He's attempting to hire more muscle. It all comes together. It's all connected. But yeah, as I said in my video, the episode, it feels strange to get like through and through Mando episodes in the book of Boba Fett. I'm thinking like future. I'm thinking of long term. I'm thinking of somebody 10, 15 years from now sitting down to watch, or not even that long from now, but sitting down to watch like The Mandalorian, watching the first 2 seasons, and then having to be told to watch the first season of the book of Boba Fett, because that's where you learn what Grogu's choices were. That's where you learn, like, you know, where this chain, you know what I mean? Like, that's where all of these various things that will affect season 3 of The Mandalorian happen in a completely different damn show. That's where like the weirdness comes in for me. But yeah, a lot of stuff crammed in, Chunk. I wouldn't call it a disaster either. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it immensely. But if I sat back and I thought about it, I'm like, what show am I watching? What the hell am I watching? I mean, this makes me miss The Mandalorian. It makes me realize how much better of a show The Mandalorian is than the Book of Boba Fett. But I just kept thinking to myself, like, what show am I watching? But I appreciate that, Chunk. Yeah, it's all connected. I'm excited to see what happens next. But yeah, having like R2, Luke, Ahsoka, Cad Bane, Cobb Vanth, Boba Fett, Fennec, The Mandalorian, just all these like giant characters. Oh, one sec.
More than most other Star Wars channels, particularly on your sequel trilogy opinions. Anyway, how do you think Luke got Yoda's saber? I thought Yoda lost it after his fight with Pal. Thoughtful face.
Killer Debit, thank you so much for the ridiculously generous super chat and channel support. I greatly appreciate that. Give me one sec. Give me one sec. Oh shit! I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, all these characters all of a sudden pop up in the second to last episode of this season. It felt like such a strange turn of the wheel into a completely different direction. I enjoyed it, but it didn't feel like the same show. But yeah. No, it doesn't trip people up. I still Brett says, so weird to me that the name of the show trips people up, people's enjoyment so much. LOL. It doesn't trip people up. It's just it feels like a completely different show, does it not? It feels like we are watching episodes of The Mandalorian that are so consequential to The Mandalorian as a series that somebody's going to have to... I don't know. It's very strange to me to ask somebody to like watch a different show to fill themselves in to the events of the show that they are currently watching. Does that make sense? That's just weird to me. I guess that's a thing with Marvel. I don't watch Marvel shit, but that in itself seems weird. Hey, watch this show, but after you watch 3 seasons of that show, you got to jump over to the next season of this show because it connects to season 4 of this show and blah, 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 blah. Boba Fett. Anyway, Killer Debit, thank you so much for the channel support once again, man. Killer Debit says, God, I should have got some water instead of this coffee that's now lukewarm. Killer Debit says, really like your Star Wars opinions more than most other Star Wars channels, particularly on your sequel trilogy opinions. Oh, one sec.
Because it's fun, but I've kind of loved the last 2 episodes. Fun storytelling is fun storytelling. I can't wait for episode 7 to turn into that Rancor minigame from Star Wars Connect. The horror.
Vince, thank you so much for the generous super chat and channel support. One sec, man. Killer Debit says, particularly on your sequel trilogy opinions. Anyway, how do you think Luke got Yoda's lightsaber? I thought Yoda lost it after his fight with Palp. Golly, there are so many if there's some hints as to how this happened, chat, let me know. But there are so many, I guess, unanswered questions like that. I mean, shit. How did Maz Kanata get that lightsaber? Is that answered in comic books? If so, I haven't read it. But how do you think Luke got Yoda's saber? That's a good question. I mean, I guess somebody held on to it. It's interesting how the chain of custody gets broken up. And we want to know the exact chain of custody for these items, you know. Matt Martin said Yoda had more than one saber. Oh, Stuart, there you go.
Like
oh, one sec.
Wars in terms of structure, like 3 to 4 episodes following certain characters / stories before switching over to something tangentially related for the next.
Max Harrison, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. I greatly appreciate that. Somehow Yoda's lightsaber returned. Yeah, Killer. I don't know. I mean, those kind of little gaps, I guess, the unknowns in the chain of custody of certain items or whatnot, isn't all that important to me. It doesn't bother me if we don't know those things. I'm a firm believer that not every single thing in Star Wars needs to have like a deep explanation or needs to fully be explained or told. Now, you'd say somehow Palpatine returned. Yeah, that's goofy as shit. Came out of nowhere, and I don't like that movie. But something like Luke getting Yoda's lightsaber, it fits the moment so well in this episode that the backstory of the chain of custody of that saber isn't all that important to me, if that makes sense. But I appreciate that, Killer. You know, I find that my Star Wars opinions are often not necessarily in line with a lot of other people's. I feel like oftentimes I'm in the minority, Killer, when it comes to the opinions of a lot of stuff. When it comes to modern Star Wars, even. So you saying that, I really appreciate it, man. But yeah, we're always civil here, right? If I like a thing and you don't like a thing, or vice versa, we go, hey, man, you like a thing I don't like? Cool. But that's what it's all about, right? But yeah, I appreciate that, Killer. Cheers. My favorite movie of modern Star Wars since the acquisition by Disney is The Last Jedi. My least favorite might be The Rise of Skywalker. If I need to sit down and think of my list again. But yeah. Anyway, Killer Debit, I appreciate that, man. Oh, Stuart says, Matt Martin said Being 900, Yoda had more than one saber over the course of his life. The one he used against Palpatine was probably recovered by him. I see. Okay. Was that a tweet from today? I'll have to keep that, look into that. But I appreciate that, Stuart. Member for 21 months, almost 2 years. That is crazy. That is crazy. I appreciate that, Stuart. Let's see. One sec, guys. One sec. There we go. Vince, Tristan, Max, and Stuart, thank you guys so much. Vince says, I'm sarcastic about stuff because it's fun, but I've kind of loved the last 2 episodes. Fun storytelling is fun storytelling. I can't wait for episode 7 to turn into that Rancor minigame from Star Wars Connect, the horror. No, I'm in complete agreement. That's why, like, if you watch my last 2 videos about the previous 2 episodes, they're probably my favorite 2 episodes in the entire Boba Fett show so far. And guess what they don't really have much of? Boba Fett. I'm right there with you. Like, I can have these 2 battling thoughts in my brain. Like, oh, this feels weird and out of place. But also, kind of rules. You know? My brain can be split into 2 different camps and opinions. Is that allowed, Star Wars fans? But yeah, fun storytelling is fun storytelling for sure. Man, I have to say, like, when I first saw, as soon as I saw the silhouette in the desert, the humidity obscuring the figure, off in the distance as Cobb Vanth was staring into the desert, I knew exactly that it was Cad Bane. I mean, that's not special. I'm sure you all did too. But in my head, I was like, oh, that's Cad Bane. And it wasn't a sense of, like, really, Cad Bane. It was like, oh, shit, I wonder what he's going to look like. Oh, this kind of fits, you know? Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. It'd be kind of cool. But, yeah, anyway, I appreciate that, Vince. Cheers, man. I don't really know. Can't wait for episode 7 to turn into that Rancor minigame from Star Wars Connect, the whore. Star Wars Connect, Rancor Rampage? Is that what it is? Rancor Rampage. Oh, let me mute this. There we go. I don't think I know what this is.
I feel bad asking this since it's not really a Boba Fett related question, but I'm curious. I personally would have loved to see what episode 9 would have looked like under Rian Johnson, since I also liked Last Jedi better.
Killer Debit, thank you so much for the generous super chat. Once again, man. I appreciate the patience as well. I'm long-winded today. Vince, I've never seen this in my entire life, but that kind of looks fun. Rancor Rampage gameplay, Star Wars Connect. I didn't know this existed. I thought the Star Wars Connect thing was just like dancing. It looks kind of fun. Interesting. Tristan Zabinski, Max, Stuart, Vince, Dustin, and Killer, thank you guys so much. I appreciate the channel support, and I appreciate the patience. I am long-winded this afternoon. Tristan says, hey Greedo, it's been so long since I've made a stream. Good to be here. Is it safe to assume Ahsoka knows of Anakin's redemption, and why couldn't Grogu pick both the armor and the lightsaber? Yeah, we kind of discussed that a little earlier. A lot of people think it's going to be a test that, and it's not going to be so black and white of a choice. Maybe Luke won't be as rigid in his Jedi dogma as he seems right now. I would like for there to be some change in the rigidity and the dogmatic nature of a lot of these organizations, like the Jedi, right? The Jedi's hubris, the Jedi's lack of attachment, you could say, brought them down. So hopefully it won't be such a black and white decision as pick the armor, pick the lightsaber. Because that's kind of goofy to me. Tristan, I would say it's safe to assume that she knows of Anakin's redemption. I'm sure there is a connection between Luke and her. I'm sure they can read one another. I'm sure, maybe the story's even been told among them, one another. And what did Ahsoka say in this episode? She said, like, just like your father or something like that to Luke. Or man, when talking about how Grogu was, I can't remember something like that. But yeah, I think it's safe to assume that Ahsoka knows of Anakin's redemption. There was whenever Luke's father got brought up in the conversation between Ahsoka and Anakin. Again, I only watched this episode once, and I remember them mentioning it. But it wasn't like we don't talk about that bad apple in the family. It was almost like a longing for the good old days of Anakin and Ahsoka. You know what I mean? It almost seemed like there was that Ahsoka knew that in the end, that Anakin saved Luke and went down the path of redemption. At least that's the vibe that I got. But yeah, good to see you, Tristan. I feel like yeah, it's been a while for sure. I'm just now getting back into the swing of doing more streams. As you probably know, the past year has been super busy. And now I'm just kind of playing a waiting game. I'm going to find out some big news probably next week.
Great piece of Star Wars media. Terrible Boba Fett episode, however. I can't help but feel disappointed. I love Luke, but the first 26 minutes didn't need to happen. Not in this show, anyway.
R, thank you so much for the generous super chat and channel support. Give me one sec. But, all right, Max, Vince, Dustin, Killer, and R. Max says Book of Boba Fett feels more like the Clone Wars in terms of structure, like 3 to 4 episodes following certain characters' stories before switching over to something tangentially related for the next. Yeah, I like that. If that's the case, you know, it's all semantics. What do you call the show? Could The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett just been under the same exact title, under the same name? Yeah, potentially. Maybe it would have made things a little more coherent if they were under the same banner. You know, The Clone Wars, and then you get, 7 seasons, and some episodes are so out there relative to other episodes and arcs. Yeah, if that's the case, Max, I guess this is I guess this is proof of that idea. I guess this is kind of these past 2 episodes is proof that, at least so it seems, that will be the case. You know, the next. Oh, one sec. There we go. I mean, perhaps, you know, the first 4 episodes all set up, see what Boba Fett's been up to, how he got to where he's at, and now we jump into Mando, and then all kind of roots come to a head, and you know, the next episode will combine everything that we've learned about so far. And if that's the case, maybe, you know, next season of the Book of Boba Fett. Golly, I don't know, 7 episodes in a season to kind of have them ping pong from certain characters and stories like the Clone Wars did doesn't seem like enough. But I guess, you know, who am I to say, right? But yeah, it'd be cool, Max. If that's the case, I'm on board. And it certainly seems like that will be the case. And maybe instead of looking at these as individual shows, we need to look at them as just Star Wars under the Star Wars umbrella. And now there's just complete connectivity and connectedness between, you know, Book of Boba Fett, The Mandalorian, Ahsoka show, and whatever else we're getting. You know, maybe we should just start now looking at all of these upcoming shows as just one and the same. You know, like it or don't. It kind of seems like the path of future Star Wars shows, you know. But yeah. Anyway, Max, I appreciate that. You're probably right. And yeah, we'll see how it goes, man. Cheers. Vince, Dustin, Killer, R, and Mimi, thank you guys so much for the super chats this afternoon. Once again, I should have gotten some water. I just walked up here with a cup of coffee expecting to just be on here for like 30 minutes. But I'm going to power through, man. And then I'm going to chug an entire 32-ounce Nalgene. Vince said, Cad Bane totally reminded me of Lee Van Cleef from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Everyone watch it. Watch it this weekend. So good. Yeah, did he seem any... I'm curious. It's not definitely not the same voice, right? Cad Bane voice. Corey Burton. Okay. Let me see. Cad Bane. Who plays Cad Bane in the Book of Boba Fett? Screen Rant. 8 hours ago. Let's see. Who is Cad Bane? Who is Cad Bane in the Book of Boba Fett? It's a menshealth.com article. Because when I think Star Wars, I think menshealth.com. Unfortunately, they got to cover. Does anybody know? Fans should note that Dave Filoni, Bad Batch. Bane was voiced by Corey Burton, who also voiced him in his previous Star Wars appearances. So, okay, so it was the same voice actor. And something of a break with how the live-action Star Wars world has been doing things. Cad Bane is played here in voice-over only. The character appears to be mostly CG. I would not agree with that. By Corey Burton, the actor who provided his voice in previous appearances. Would you say that Cad Bane looked mostly CG? From memory, I would disagree. I mean, maybe the eyes. Would you... I don't know. Interesting. I agree, Uniqueness. Uniqueness says Bane looked awesome in this. Really solid translation to live action. I certainly agree. Looked great. Sounded great. Had the swagger. The intimidation. I thought it was fantastic. Very intimidating. Very intimidating. I agree, it looked practical. I don't know what menshealth.com is talking about, unless they know more than we do. I mean, unless it was that great of CG. But to me, it looked very practical. Very practical. But, yeah. Anyway, Vince. I'm trying to think what we've watched recently. Succession. We've been watching Succession. It's a great show. Today, while I was doing some laundry and picking up, putting away all of our travel stuff, I had a Mission Control documentary on. Mission Control, the Unsung Heroes of the Apollo Era, I think it's called. Mission Control, Mission Control, the Unsung Heroes of Apollo. Really good documentary. And it's available for free on YouTube with advertisements. Mission Control, the Unsung Heroes of Apollo. Other than that, it's been so long since I've seen The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. I have it on DVD with the trilogy. Anyway. Cheers, Vince. Yeah, go watch Good, Bad, and the Ugly. There you go. Dustin, a.k.a. Dustin, thank you so much. Dustin says, hey, Greedo, I love the episode. Was a blast. Recently, you discussed the new Lego Star Wars, and I'm wondering what the chances of you streaming the complete saga are. Would be super cool to see. Oh, Dustin, I'm definitely going to stream it. When does it come out? Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. 2022, but isn't there an official release date now? April. Okay, April 5th. Unless that's changed April 5th. So April 5th. Yeah, dude, there's no question in my mind that I will stream it. I don't know what my schedule will be like in April. Potentially some big things going on that I'll find out about in a week or so. So yeah, we'll see. But yes, of course, when I get the Skywalker Saga, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, I will absolutely stream it, Dustin. I probably wouldn't play it if I wasn't streaming it, to tell you the truth, just because I don't really play much nowadays, but I think it'd be fun. Do you guys know, Dustin, maybe you know, is it multiplayer? Is Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga going to be like competitive multiplayer? Not like couch multiplayer. Not competitive, cooperative multiplayer. Like, oh, the OG to build hype. Ah, I see, Dustin. Gotcha. Yeah, I could, I guess. Do I still have that installed? Let me bring up Steam. Honestly, I don't know if I still have it installed, but I guess I could reinstall it. Is it under Lego? Yeah, Lego. Okay, the complete saga. You know, that would be fun. That would be fun to stream. Maybe I will. Oh, so one of my friends on my friends list is currently playing. Oh, nice. Battlefront France. Battlefront FR is currently playing Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens. Is he streaming it? Let's see. Oops. Let's see. Let's see if he is currently streaming. Yep. Nice. Yeah, he's streaming right now. The Force Awakens, Lego The Force Awakens. Nice. He was a nice guy. Met him at EA Play in 2019. Hard to believe it's already been 3 years. That's crazy. Anyway. What were we talking about? But, yeah, maybe I'll set that up, Dustin. Maybe we can do that at some point, maybe next week? Don't know if I'll be able to swing it this week, but, yeah, next week might work. Cheers, man. Should be split screen co-op, possibly co-op online if both players have the game. Otherwise, Steam has a built-in feature to allow you to do online split screen. Oh, nice. Okay. It really does? I didn't realize that. Yeah, hopefully there is some easy like co-op multiplayer. Because I think it'd be a ton of fun to get, shit, maybe more than 2 people if that's even a possibility, but get some people in to help me out with the game, because I always suck so bad at those Lego games. It's weird. Anyway, cheers. Killer Debit, thank you so much. R and Mimi, thank you guys for the channel supports. Killer Debit says, I feel bad asking this since it's not really a Boba Fett related question. Dude, half the time we don't stay on topic on these live streams. Half the time we devolve into a conversation about food or whatever else we want to talk about. But Killer Det says, but I'm curious, I personally would have loved to see what episode 9 would have looked like under Rian Johnson, since I also liked Last Jedi better. Yeah, me too. Initially I really enjoyed the idea of 3 different directors kind of spearheading 3 different films in a trilogy. Just like the original trilogy, you had Lucas, Marquand, and Kirshner. 3 different directors, 3 different Star Wars movies in the original trilogy, and I liked that idea for the sequel trilogy. Now, obviously, that didn't happen because JJ came back for the 3rd installment of this trilogy. I personally would have liked the direction that Trevorrow's Duel of the Fates script went in. Just because The Rise of Skywalker, to me, it's one of my least favorite Star Wars movies. It feels like just a generic nothing, in my opinion. It was so creatively bankrupt to me that it's so forgettable, in my opinion. again, anyway. But yeah, I'm with you, Killer. I would have loved to kind of see what Rian Johnson would have had in store for, the final installment of this trilogy, a continuation of what he did in The Last Jedi. A lot of interesting ideas were hatched in that movie. But at the same time, I can't live in that what could have been mentality, maybe it's the older I get, but I kind of tend to just be like, yeah, it is what it is, the world will never know, right? Maybe 30, 40, 50 years from now, Rian Johnson will talk about where he would have taken the story, because I guess what we have to look forward to, Killer, is maybe that Rian Johnson trilogy in the future, if that's still happening. I mean, projects are getting put on hold and canceled left and right when it comes to Star Wars over the past few years, but no word, no cancellation, no nothing has come about with the Rian Johnson stuff. So, maybe it's still in the works, and maybe we'll have some really unique and interesting original concepts for some future Star Wars movies, But, cross my fingers, hopefully, right? Anyway, I appreciate that, Killer. I got you. Yeah, having a what-if mindset just makes you grumpy. Oh, for sure.
Tales of the Bounty Hunters like the Legends novel. I get somewhere iffy on Boba's episodes, but I'd like to see the main character for more than a minute,
A3, thank you so much. R and Vince, I appreciate it, guys. Let me see, and I appreciate the patience as well. R, Mimi, Andrew, R, A3, and Vince. All right, R says, great piece of Star Wars media, terrible Boba Fett episode, however. I can't help but feel disappointed. I love Luke, but the first 26 minutes didn't need to happen. Not in this show, anyway. I loved the Luke and Grogu stuff. Get up, always get up. I thought it was beautiful. I thought I loved it. I'm glad we got that in there. You said not in this show anyway. Yeah, maybe not. It feels so strange to have. I guess it's just the new way of storytelling. I guess it's just the constant need to connect shows to shows to shows to shows, where major consequential and significant events happen outside of the main show that these characters are in a completely different show. Does that make sense? I don't know, man. But I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed those first 26 minutes, if that's what it was. To me, it was the most interesting stuff in the show. I kind of wish it was just streamlined in season 3 of The Mandalorian. It's just weird that it's just kind of an offshoot of that show, and you got to dip your toe into another show to kind of flesh out what's going to happen to these characters. But yeah, R. It doesn't feel right at this moment. It doesn't feel like the Book of Boba Fett. It feels like The Mandalorian, and maybe that's an indication of how future shows are going to be. They're not going to strictly adhere to a linear path with the character that's in the title of the show. Maybe it's just going to be a little more all over the place than what we're originally anticipating. Don't know if I'll necessarily like that. It is a weird thing, in my opinion. But yeah, R, I appreciate that, man. What'd you guys think? It's just something that I guess we got to get used to if that's the direction they're taking these things in, right? Anyway. Mimi says, the whiplash from not having Boba Fett in his own show is weird. I like the episode, but I just feel like the first 4 episodes didn't pay off now. Yeah, that's hard to say without seeing the final episode of this season coming next Wednesday, I can't speak of payoffs yet or anything until we see kind of how this season comes to a close. And it's really hard to judge the entire series and payoffs, if you want to call them that, or finales, or the direction of characters and what happens to them without seeing the entire series. That's why it's always kind of felt a little goofy to me, reviewing individual episodes. People get so bent out of shape with certain things that do and don't happen in individual episodes. And sometimes I sit back and I'm just like, hey man, there's still multiple episodes and multiple seasons of the show. Don't just poo-poo it now. The thing that you think might happen or should happen might happen or should happen in next episode, maybe even next season. That's why it's always weird and feels very strange to like review episode to episode. Does that make sense? Anyway, cheers, Mimi. There, yeah, I guess there's a little whiplash and it feels strange, but me saying it feels strange does not mean that it's not good. I think you have any kind of criticism and some people automatically are like, you didn't like it? Nah, I didn't say that, dude. Anyway, cheers, Mimi. Andrew Rodriguez says, any expectations for the next Book of Boba Fett episode? I really don't know, man. I have a feeling there's not going to be much. Okay, so whatever I say, the opposite usually happens. So just as I'm flapping my gums, just picture the opposite in your head. That's what's probably going to happen, Andrew. But it feels very hard for me to imagine that they're going to be able to cram like any kind of massive resolution into the final episode of the Book of Boba Fett season 1. There's a lot of parties involved now, and if this war is going to pop off, they're going to have to conclude it in one episode. I find that would be very hard to do, you know. So my expectations, Andrew, is that the stage is going to be set for this upcoming turf war, you know. Yeah, I guess they could make the episode longer, but still, I suspect that things won't get resolved. They will get set up next episode. And again, most of the time I'm wrong. Just whatever I say, just think the opposite's probably going to happen. So anyway, cheers, Andrew. And R, thank you so much for the super chat, channel support once again. R says, more of a blink and you'll miss it moment, but there's a Boba Fett cameo between 27 minutes and 44 seconds and 28 minutes and 53 seconds if you look closely. If you look closely enough, you'll see Boba Fett in episode 6 of the Book of Boba Fett. Blink and you'll miss it, R says. But anyway, cheers, R. I appreciate that, man. And A3 says, should have just called this show Tales of the Bounty Hunters, like the Legends novel. I get some more iffy on Boba's episodes, but I'd like to see the main character for more than a minute, you know. A3 also says, how dare they kill Jennifer Beals? At least we have confirmed she's a stunner in any decade and universe. Indeed. Yeah, as I said in my video, in the Star Wars universe, nobody's ever really gone, right? Cobb Vanth, you think he's dead? I said in my video, he'll probably come back with a Band-Aid on his hip, right? I'm guessing that's the case. If I had to guess, what is Jennifer Beals' character's name? I don't remember. She'll probably survive too, but we'll see. That was a good thing to end the episode on. A lot of chaos going on. A lot of chaos going on that will have to be addressed next episode, and a choice that... Do you think the Grogu choice will be resolved next episode? Shit, man. If I had to guess, that will be back in... The conclusion of that choice will be seen in season 3 of The Mandalorian, you know? But, yeah, anyway. Cheers, A3. Yeah, I like the idea of just kind of Tales of the Bounty Hunters and all that kind of stuff. And an all-encompassing bounty hunter tale. Could be. He was shot in the shoulder. Okay. Of course. Of course. Of course he's coming back, right? That's how it goes. But yeah. Vince says everyone has their pizza no-nos, such as pineapple, but how about burger no-nos? What is something that 100% does not belong atop a freshly grilled patty? Well, first of all, a freshly grilled patty, burgers on the grill, yeah, I mean, I'll eat one. But I prefer a burger on a griddle. I prefer a burger smashed on the griddle. Yeah, more juice. I find that a lot of the times you have a grilled burger and it just kind of like dries out more than I would prefer. A nice smash burger on a griddle retains a lot of that juice and it's delicious. But Vince, I've never really had anything that I didn't like on a burger. I like a nice runny egg on a burger from time to time. I love avocado on a burger. I've had a lot of different types of burgers. It's not necessarily the things that I don't like on a burger. It's the quantity that I don't like on a burger. Like, if I see a big, thick... I don't like thick, fat patties. Somebody said thick patty burgers are for assholes. I don't remember who said that. It might have been Seth Rogen. He might have said thick patties are for assholes or something like that. I can't remember, but it might have been him. I don't know where I heard him say that, but I'm picturing anyway. Yeah, quantity, Vince. I don't like a lot of bullshit and just like too much. Less is more a lot of the times with a hamburger. Now, I like a good barbecue bacon burger with some like onion rings on top of it. I like that, but sometimes you just get too much bullshit, like a thick patty with a bunch of nonsense just on top, and then it has to be held together with like a 8-inch toothpick. That's just too much. I don't want that, you know? But no, I actually like pineapple on my pizza. Pineapple and ham. A Hawaiian pizza is pretty solid, man. I find that now, this is a generalization, but I find that people who don't like pineapple on their pizza have usually never tried pineapple on their pizza. Yeah, anyway. Cheers, Vince. Yeah, I should make I always say this whenever this topic comes up, but I need to make a video about how I make my burgers. It's like identical to a Shake Shack burger. I get a potato roll, a nice potato sandwich roll, and smash a patty. I make like a cayenne pepper mayo. Yeah, it's delicious. Anyway. Cheers, Vince. Now I'm hungry. Killer, Levi, and Stevie, thank you guys for coming in with the final super chats and channel supports. Killer says, part of me misses the old simple Mando plots. My favorite Mando episode is still the second episode of season 1 with the Mud Horde and Jawas. Is that the egg one? The Suka? Dude, I loved it, Killer. For the longest time, I said that was my favorite episode too. It was so fun and yeah, and goofy and adventurous. I'm with you, Killer. I like the simple kind of one-off adventurous feeling of Mando episodes as well. That's why I just love everything about that show. I mean, especially the first season, Killer. The second season was great, don't get me wrong, but the second season kind of started relying a little too much on setting up other shows, if you want to put it that way, or leaning on things that we're already familiar with. I mean, Bo-Katan, Ahsoka, Boba Fett shows up. So, like, a bunch of characters that we already know end up in the second season of The Mandalorian, I guess just to set up their own shows. But it just kind of started feeling a little not as cohesive to me. I really, really liked the first season of The Mandalorian because it was like a singular vision that was its own thing. It was its own thing, you know. But yeah, Killer, I loved that episode. Suka. That's still, to this day, one of my favorite episodes because it's so, yeah, it's so fun. It's just one of the most fun episodes out there, for sure. But I appreciate that, Killer. I miss it too, man. Hopefully, season 3 will get a little more, yeah. I'm just looking forward to more Mando. Anyway, Levi Gutierrez says this episode alone was better than the sequel trilogy. Hey, I'm not going to disagree with that. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought Luke and Grogu's connection there was beautiful. I thought all the setups that we had, all the character introductions that we had were really well done. You know, I still to this day, I think my favorite piece of modern Star Wars, you know, since Disney acquired the franchise, is The Last Jedi. With the close second being the first season of The Mandalorian. But yeah, I appreciate that, Levi. Hey, we're all different, right? Yeah, it was fun. How would you ultimately recommend Star Wars to newcomers? All this stuff often narratively all over the place. Yeah, it can be a little confusing, right? I would say start with the original trilogy, first and foremost. Just watch the OT first. That's what the world experienced first. So as a new viewer of Star Wars, experience Star Wars the way the world saw it, you know? I'm a firm believer in release order. That way you can kind of experience the way it was initially meant to be told. Initially told to the world, you know? That's just me. But yeah, anyway. Stevie and Christian, thank you so much. Stevie says, enjoying the Book of Boba Fett, but definitely a bit all over the place narratively. Here's hoping Grogu picks the armor. Yeah, I'm with you. I want Grogu to pick the armor as well. You know, attachment isn't bad. You don't need to be a robot Jedi. I'm hoping it's just a test and it's not going to be as black and white and linear of a choice as that. But yeah, it does feel all over the place, especially these past 2 episodes. They've been a nice breath of fresh air these past 2 episodes, but they definitely make me miss the show The Mandalorian. That made me realize how much more, in my opinion, how much better of a show that show is than the Book of Boba Fett. But what do you guys think? That should have been a poll in the chat. Is Grogu going to pick the armor, or is Grogu going to pick the lightsaber? I think he's going to pick the armor. It's not even about the armor. He's going to pick the connection with his father figure. I hope so. I hope so. But cheers, Stevie. And Christian, thank you for coming in with a final super chat and channel support before I jet. We went 40 minutes over my intended live stream time. Let's see. Christian says, hey, what's your top 3 prequel lightsaber? Oh, prequel lightsaber fights. Oh my God, man. Prequel lightsaber fights. I would say my number 1 is Qui-Gon, Obi, and Darth Maul at the end of The Phantom Menace. It's the most grounded. It's the most, like, realistic out of all of them in the prequels. I feel like all the other prequel fights are just like so. I mean, like fighting on Mustafar, they're jumping from like little. It's like playing Mario. They're jumping from CG platform to CG platform. Lava's raining down. It's just over the top and blah blah. The Phantom Menace felt so like relative to a lot of the other prequel fights. It felt so grounded and subtle. It was like a ballet. It's a great lightsaber fight, man. To me, it's so much better than any other prequel lightsaber fights. Maybe with a second, my second favorite lightsaber fight in the prequels is Dooku, Anakin, and Obi-Wan, maybe. I would say Dooku. I would say that's probably my second. What would my third be? Let me refresh my brain. Prequel lightsaber fights. I've never been a big fan of most of the lightsaber fights in the prequels, just because, like I said, most of them feel like Yoda and Palpatine. They're cartoon characters jumping around and doing flips. Like, I don't know, it's not that interesting to me. The Phantom Menace is lightsaber fight is great. So yeah, I would say the Phantom Menace, and then probably Dooku, Obi-Wan, and Anakin, just because it does feel a little more grounded than others. And then, shit, I'll say Mustafar, just because the emotional impact of it, you know? So yeah, that's my answer, Christian. There you go. Cheers. All right, I got to get going, guys. But all right, that's it for me. So this was a fun one. I appreciate everybody hanging out with me, talking Book of Boba Fett, talking Star Wars. I am so thirsty. I did not bring any water up with me. All I've had is a cup of coffee in the past hour and 10 minutes, and I'm about to go pound some water. All right, guys. To everybody who supported the channel through Super Chats this afternoon, thank you so much. The channel survives because of you. To everybody who hung out in the chat and talked Star Wars, thanks for hanging out, man. All right. I'll catch you on the flip side. Cool. I'm trying to look for the song. We can go to the mall. Where's the song? Oh, there it is. All right, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your morning, your afternoon, your evening, wherever you are on planet Earth. And I will catch you all on the flip side. Here we go. We're going to go to the Avenues Mall. I'm going to get a cookie at Annie's Bakery. Is that what it's called? I don't remember. I haven't been to a mall in 15 fucking years. That's not true. See ya!